and kill it every single night. How many more shows do I have left before the tour is over? Young man, if you are counting the shows before a tour is over, you want to be somewhere else. So, put your tail between your legs, take a Greyhound bus home, pick up your ice cream scoop, and go back to a life of minimum wage and mediocrity. You'll eat more meals. Or, if you want to, as David Lee Roth once said to me, sail the seas of consequence, Henry. You can do that. And so I decided to do that. And I stopped looking at the tour itinerary, and I basically embraced this thing like, we're going to eat when we're going to eat. There will be fighting with fists and whenever that happens. It's all lemons to me. My job is to make lemonade out of every single thing, because it's all lemons, it's all rock and roll, right? And so this is what I decided to do. And this is the thing that I'm sorry I took the long way around. This is the through line of my life. From 20 to age 61, it hit me at the beginning of COVID. I'm a fighter, and I have never stopped fighting. And I'm not saying I'm trying to create adversarial relationships everywhere I go. I want quite the opposite with you, because I have nothing but affection for you. But I want something every single day that challenges me. This is why I do 6 workouts in 6 days and take 1 day off. Today was the rest day. Tomorrow I'll be right back at it, because it's a fight in the gym, because you're pulling up something that doesn't want to be pulled up. It is giving you resistance. The more weight you apply, the more it resists. And so it becomes a physical thing, but a mental thing as well. And so this is why I enjoy going to the gym, because it doesn't want me to be in there. It doesn't want me to get anything done. As an old man going into the gym, the emphasis is different than when I was a young man going into the gym. And as a young man, you go in there and you're like, I want to get this and so I look like this. As an old man, I'm in there for hours at a time. No one even notices, because I'm there for so long, I become camouflage. Wait a minute. Hold on. That guy, he got here at 10:30. It's 3:15 in the afternoon. Why is he still on the elliptical treadmill going really slow? Death. I'm in a dark tunnel, and I see the dot of light at the end. That will be my death. The light is so bright in my tunnel, I can read underneath it. And so now it workouts to me like, keep the arteries clear. Keep the heart strong. Do not die before the tour is over. And you'll see men like me come into the gym in our street clothes, holding that 1 gallon plastic opaque bottle of water we filled up from the sink. No sports drinks for me. Boy, you're going to get in really good shape if you keep working out like that. It doesn't matter when I take my clothes off. I'm hideous. They'll only get worse 20 years from now. I will wish I looked like this, which is hideous. Death. I'm going to be a lizard. Death. They're going to find me under the couch. Try it out there. I'm just saying, when you get old, you better have some humor. You're going to need all of it. And so I realize that I've been fighting for Linda now. And that's why this tour is 83 shows in like 89 days. And most of those days is to haul the bus over the top of Canada. I wish I could have a gig in the middle of nowhere in beautiful prairie Canada for a prairie dog. Because that's how much I don't want a night off. I want the sword of Damocles swinging over my head by the proverbial single horsehair every single day obligation. And so what's my job every single day on tour? Don't get sick. Don't get run over. Get ready to do a show. Know what you're going to say. Have everything laser targeted. Don't be figuring out your information as you make it up on stage, because that can go south and you can waste people's time. I love this obligation, and I love doing everything I can in my power to make sure this does not fail. Because I love the fact that it is my idea that you are trusting me with your time. And so I love the weight of that obligation. I take it very, very seriously, and I'm not comparing myself to other performers, but I can't believe how casually some people approach the stage. I approach it with trepidation and fear of failure. If I do a bad show, I should be able to pull out a katana blade and lop off an arm and go, I'm sorry, here, take me on eBay, you'll get $1.99. And so I like having that obligation, and I like having something bigger than me that resists me every single day to conquer. And it's basically a gladiator point of view, but it keeps me intense and focused, and this is how I live my life. It's COVID that made me see I have never stopped fighting from age 20 to now. And I quite enjoy it. I don't want to get in a fist fight with anybody. I'm just saying I'd rather have a challenge than not. Easy street or vacation. I don't believe in vacations. Like, you're going to vacate some physical space and re-inhabit some other space, there's no such thing as a vacation for me. It's just a cop-out. And I understand people have jobs that really suck and they want to get out of it for a while. Stop calling it a vacation. You're going to go on an adventure. And go on an adventure. I'm just saying, like you're an adult and I need to tell you what's up. Anyway, may I make another suggestion? No matter where you travel in this amazing country, please don't go to Los Angeles. Just don't do it. Really, don't do it. Never, ever go. But Henry, you've been living there for 40 years. Why have you been living there for 40 years if you don't want me to go? I have no good excuse. When Black Flag broke up, I just ended up with a milk crate of broken stuff and a blanket. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm here. Please don't go to Los Angeles. You'll breathe air, which is nothing like the beautiful air. Talk about salubrity of climate. You find it here. You will not find it in Los Angeles. You'll inhale, and your lungs will go like, wow, you're killing me. You have taken 30 seconds off my life with every single inhalation. You will stick to every flat surface. It's disgusting. It's hyper-violent, and everyone there is very ambitious. They will sell their parents to the Chechens for an interview with Spielberg, and they will climb over your dead body to get somewhere. And so why have I been living there all these years? I don't have a good answer for that. I do live in a fortress behind a very tall wall. Let me explain why. I am trying to meet American crime statistics halfway. That is to say, I've almost been killed a few times in the United States of America. Like really close. It was absolutely horrible. Post-traumatic stress is no joke. It's a real thing. So, I live behind a tall wall, a custom-made double iron gate. Every single breach point is what I call windows and doors. I have been up-armored, so you, the home invader, the stalker, the burglar, can't get to me. And this is me meeting the American crime statistic halfway. That is to say, I want a house that reeks of prevention, not lethal capacity. I don't want to have the guns of Navarone, or a bazooka, or a howitzer, or a pack of Rottweilers, or a security detail, or a death drone with human vaporizing capability. I will just have a house where a burglar walks up and goes like, whoa, well the wall is hard to get over, and I can't get into this. It'll be hard on my lumbar region. I'm out of here. And that's all I want. So I can live alone and work like a maniac. I have soundproofed my living room so I can play my stereo and not bug my neighbors. I am trying to be a good guy. Before I die, I want one 60-second period of being a good guy. I'm a bad guy trying to be good. So I'm working on myself every damn day. And so I live in Los Angeles in this fortress. Why? Because I have been invaded before. I didn't like it. And so a little more about me. Sorry, it's boring, I know. But I am not exactly a never nude. However, I sleep fully clothed with my shoes on. Yes, I take my clothes off to take a shower. I take my clothes off completely when the situation demands nakedness. You know what I mean, right? Well, like a riot or a demonstration where you really want to lodge in the memory. And may I make a suggestion? If you have never been tasered fully naked, it is kind of amazing. As I did, the third time was not as nearly as cool as the first two times. I'm just saying. So I sleep fully clothed, including shoes on top of a fully made bed. I do not get under the sheets or blankets because I want to be ready to leap into action and neutralize a stalker, burglar, or home invader. If I am semi-naked, under sheets and blankets, hold on. And I'll have to look at a guy who wants to kill me. Excuse me, I don't want to die in my underwear. Do you like these pants or these pants? I like those. I like these too, but they make me feel a little bit. And so, if you give me a 17, and okay, I always let myself in corduroy. Now kill me. And so I sleep fully clothed, and I sleep on top of a fully made bed. Yes, I laundered all the sheets and the comforter and the blanket and the pillowcases about 8 years ago. So it is logical to surmise that over the 8 years ago, like 11 to 28 pounds of skin flakes from my body have left my body, as we Homo sapiens are a work in progress, we're always shedding, right? And so the skin flakes have gone down by the pound through the blanket all the way down to the bed springs. If I was to hit the bed really hard, a dense cloud of me would erupt. And so in the winter months, I sleep with an unzipped sleeping bag over the upper half of my body, and I do the same thing with the thin blanket in the warmer months in order to be able to wipe the covering off of me, be fully exposed, leap out of bed, go, ha! Unfortunately, I don't have a move after ha. I would hope that would make the home invader go, ah! and run. And so this is how I live my life. I'm not paranoid. I just know the country that I live in. Also, when the sun goes down, I try to exist inside the house with as few lights on as possible. Why give it away to a sniper who's waiting outside? Why be in your bedroom with a light on? The sniper, he must be in the bedroom, the light is on. I'll just wait for him to eventually get up and go to the bathroom to brush his teeth. I'll follow his shadow across the curtains. I will lead him by 1 inch. He will die seeing a red laser dot on his chest, and then it's over. So, at night, I have the lights off. I will look at the laptop on 1 dot of light. So I will not give away my 20 in my position, and so I can exist. I also do a thing where I sleep about 55 to 57 minutes a night. You can tell by the rate of speed I talk that I'm incredibly intense and tightly wound. And emotionally shut down too, which is a topic for a different time. It's sad, riddling, I think. Anyway, so I will sit awake at night, completely awake like a squirrel. And you never see a squirrel do that. I was like freaking out on something. I was just sitting there at like some odd hour of the night listening to the sounds my house makes. So I can dial them into my sound log in my mind and not pay attention to them in the 55 to 57 minutes a night I sleep. And so the bathroom pipe makes that sound. There's a sound in the hallway, a creaking sound. I bought a flashlight on Amazon.com, a tactical flashlight. It's a flashlight, there's a clip on it so you can put it on your pants pocket. And I bought it so when I hear the creaking sound, I can go into the hallway with 100,000 lumens and make sure it's not a guy going, oh, you caught me, okay, I'm gonna go. And so there I am at night listening to the coyotes outside, or the owls, or the pipe, thinking, I know that one, I know that one, I know that one. Like Feb 11, I believe, of last year, 3:30 in the morning, I'm sitting alone, fully clothed, in my bed, no blanket or sleeping bag on me. I'm ready, and I'm listening to the night, and I hear sound I have never heard before, and I've been in that house about a dozen years. And I hear what sounds like a man or some adult kicking my garage door. I have never sound checked my garage door by kicking it to upload that sound. Like, that's, so I live on top of the garage. Like, someone is kicking my garage door. I better investigate. And I go up to the window, and I pull the curtain back, and I have it all custom mirrored so I can see you, but you can't see me. It gives me the advantage. And I pull the curtain back, and I look down, and there is a man at 3:30 in the morning kicking my garage door. This is the sum and total of all of my nightmares combined, in that someone has hopped over a very tall wall, has gotten into my perimeter, and this is why I live behind this wall, so you can't get to me. This guy is trying to get to me. And so my body goes into manual. My heart rate elevates, my breathing elevates, my body flushes cold. And so I have to manually slow my heart down, slow my breathing down, warm my body up, and think, what are the potential breach points this guy can get through anytime fast? Can't get through the garage door, can't get through the front door because it's 2 big pieces of steel, custom made with a deadlocking bolt thing behind it. So he's not getting in, which allows me to run downstairs to the kitchen and get the landline and run back upstairs to my bedroom, which is now the new high ground, so I can keep a visual of the perp as I call 911, because my cell phone does not get reception in this obscure canyon road that I live on. And the reason I need to call the cops is if this guy's a burglar, he's going to see very quickly, he's not getting into this house. So what if he somehow finds a way to hop back over the wall and he goes up the street to my neighbor's house? There's a family in there. They're probably asleep. There's children in that house. If I don't do a Paul Revere and let the neighborhood know some ne'er-do-well is here, I throw all my neighbors under the bus. That to me is punching down. Can't do it, it's mean. And so I gotta call the cops. And I'm not too cool to call the cops, I just do it. Unfortunately for me, I think a lot of things in life are funny, not everything absolutely, but some things are funny, most things are funny, including me talking to a 911 operator. 911, what's your emergency? It's just like the TV show. And I can't help myself. Good morning, ma'am. No doubt you see my name and home address flashing before you on your screen. Ma'am, let me give you some breaking news. I've got a man. Oh, have I got a man? I've got a man about 5'10", 175 pounds, curly brown hair, short, with a backpack, and a blue or red windbreaker, jeans and sneakers, and a cell phone. He's kicking my garage door. Wait a minute, ma'am, we have movement. He is walking, and ma'am, do you hear that sound? He is now ringing my doorbell. Hold on, he's now knocking on my front door. Sir, did you invite this man? Very funny, ma'am. Very funny. No, 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 no. I live behind a very tall wall. He either has a jetpack or a pole with which to vault or Spider-Man ninja capability. But no, no, no. I live in a fortress. I did not invite this man. But, he looks like he wants to get in and have a chat or something. And this is why I called you at this odd hour of the morning. Sir? Yes, ma'am. Are you okay? Wow, okay, that's a big one. The first 18 years were really tough. To the left of my mother is Joan Baez and a wall. To the right of my father is Fox News and a wall. They were diametrically opposed on every topic imaginable. But I think in 1960, when they no doubt met, they're both good-looking, smart, hard-working people with a sense of humor. My father not nearly as much as my mom. And I'm guessing at some mixer, my mom probably hit on my dad, like, hey, you fascists, let's do this. And so they rolled around as two adults are wanted to do, and I became the proverbial bun in the oven. And so for appearance's sake, they got married, and as soon as I arrived, they could not get away from each other quickly enough. And so I have always figured that my existence is due in part to vodka. And this started me 5 days a week living with mom and 2 days a week visiting my father and his psychotic, terrifying ex-FBI agent wife, who had a son who became my stepbrother. He was a pervert. And my mom's boyfriends were always drunk, abusive perverts. Just a theory, ma'am. I think my mom was trying to date her father, who I heard was an abusive drunk and maybe a perv. Sir, be quiet! I'm sorry. I just asked if you're okay at this moment. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I tend to overshare. I live alone, so things is like a Heimlich out of me. I don't necessarily converse. I kind of ejaculate with words, and that's why I never get invited back to anything ever again. It's fine, though. It's fine. I'm used to being alone. It's pretty that way. Sir, I've got law enforcement coming to you, okay? I really have to go. So look, we're stretched pretty thin tonight. It's going to be between 30 minutes and 3 hours for them to get to you. If anything escalates or changes, if you get scared, call us back. But yes, ma'am, I surely will. So I hang up. And so I look out the window at this guy ringing my doorbell, and I realize that law enforcement might be coming fairly soon, and I have to open the gate at the bottom of the driveway to allow law enforcement to come in. Unfortunately for me, my clicker for the gate is in my wounded Mazda 6, which necessitates me opening the door that the guy is knocking on. It's like, good morning, can you step away from me and go way away from me as I sashay on over to my economy car, grab my Click Air, and run back through the door that you've just been knocking on? Is that cool? I don't like how that might go. So I remember that I've got a clicker in my office. I run downstairs and the clicker has no battery. My last option to open the gate is to go to the garage and basically turn the circuit off. And the gate will open thinking there's a power outage in the canyon, which happens fairly often. So I do that, and the gate takes a day and a half to open. It's like really slow because it's heavy, rugged steel. And so I run back up to the top to watch the man watch the gate open to see what his reaction is. So I figure if he's a burglar, he's going to see the gate open, and no doubt law enforcement's on his way because the homeowner is awake. I better run. And so the guy watches the gate open, looks up at the window, looks at my car, looks at the gate, and sits down. I'm like, okay, we are not a burglar. We are probably not even a criminal. We probably think differently than millions and millions of people all over the world. Maybe there's something very unique going on in there. Maybe this person is the most interesting person I've encountered in the last several days. What will happen next? And so 37 minutes after I call, law enforcement, I can see them coming up this tiny little road that I live on, and by the time I get outside, they're in the driveway, and I walk out there and I face their headlights with my hands way over my head. Good morning, law enforcement. I am the homeowner. The man with the backpack that you have handcuffed facing the wall at the bottom of the driveway, that's the right guy. I am unarmed and negative. Covered negative. A lot of people think I'm negative. I disagree. I think I just see things for what they are. You can be lemonade, I'll give you lemonade. That is what I've been doing since 1981. Faithfully bringing you the lemonade no matter what. Sir, you can put your arms down. Putting my arms down very slowly, as commanded, about to hit pants pockets that have nothing in them that is threatening except for old lint. Sir, you can exhale and just put your damn hands down. Putting the hands down slightly faster as commanded. If you don't mind, I will turn the palms outward so you can see whenever you look at me that there is nothing in my hand. Sir, walk towards me. Walking towards you slowly as commanded. Sir, do you have anyone in that house but you? Are you kidding? No. Are there any animals in there? No. And now I'm in front of one cop watching the other cop who's dealing with the guy in handcuffs. And so the cop with the guy goes through the guy's backpack. He pulls everything out. He puts everything back in, which says to me there's nothing dangerous in the backpack. Now, he's going through the guy's pockets. And he pulls out a card. And he holds the card up to the guy's face. He's looking at the card, looking at the guy's face. And I figured that's photo ID, and he's trying to see if it matches. And so he starts talking to the man in handcuffs. So, it's okay in Finland to hop over someone's wall at 3:30 in the morning and knock on their front door? And the young man speaks. He says, no. So you think it's okay to do that in the United States of America? And the young man says, well, Henry invited me. Like, oh no, we're on a first name basis. This is information. The cop's job is to run it down. So he looks at me. I'm like, no, look, man, the guy has a pole or a jetpack or something. The gate was closed until 10 minutes before you arrived. So no, I don't know this guy. So the cop's standing with me. Says, okay, you've got two options here. I said, what are they? He said, you can have this guy arrested for trespassing. We will take him downtown to the Twin Towers jail and we'll book him. But eventually he'll probably be able to get out. And we've seen in cases like this, he will probably come right back here. So you better get ready for that. What does that even mean? That's so incredibly open-ended. Okay, well, that's weird. What's my other option? You can let him go with a warning, and we'll take him to any address he wants. We'll get him out of here, and we'll tell him, if you come back and this guy calls the cops and we arrive and we get you, you will go to jail. So what do you want to do? And I am no paragon of virtue. I'm a bad guy trying to be good. However, I don't think it is the right thing to do to take someone who has potentially mental illness and incarcerate them just because he hopped over a wall and is knocking on my door. This could be this young man's first time in the United States of America. Maybe he just got there that morning. Do you really want to put some 20-something in the California jail downtown, where in 24 hours, do you think his life will be the same as before he went in? So he might have a mental problem and then assault and then abuse. I am not mean. I'm not vindictive. I'm angry. Huge difference between being mean and angry. Mean is punching down. Anger is punching up. And so I'm a welterweight trying to take out a heavyweight. I'll always punch up. And so I say, no, I want to let him go with a warning. And both cops are not into this. And they look at me, they go, are you sure? And I'm not going to get into a discussion at 4 something in the morning about how I don't think incarceration is the right treatment for someone with a mental problem. I just think it's incredibly wrong. And as hard as it is to look at myself in the mirror, I need to be able to do that now and then and not feel like so much of a schmuck. And so I said, that's my decision and that's that. They go, okay. And they throw the guy in the car and they take him away. And I go back to the garage, I close the gate, and I go back to sitting in my bed, unable to sleep. Are you kidding? I was completely wired. And around 9:30, hours later, exhaustion finally keels me over. I am awoken at 10:25 by the sound of my doorbell ringing. I'm like, no, really? I look out the window and there's the guy in broad daylight. I went into my Laura Ingraham Fox News reptilian brain for at least 2 seconds. How naive was I? I should have had you killed when I had the chance. But I can't occupy that space. I went, this young man is on a mission. And the cops were right, he's back. And so I've got the landline sitting right next to me on the table next to the bed. So I call the cops again. And I can't help it. Good morning, ma'am. It's your pal Henry from 0330 Hours. No doubt you see my name, my address, and a report about a man about 5 foot 10, 175 pounds. And she goes, yes, sir, I do. Well, ma'am, listen to that sound. Ding dong. He's back. Can you send 2 of your finest to have a word with this man? She goes, okay, sir. Are you okay? You want me to stay on the line with you? No, ma'am. You keep picking up the phone and helping Los Angeles become a better place. And she hangs up. And so I go downstairs to stand on the other side of the metal door till listen to him and to see if he's making any progress. I mean, what if he has a battering ram? What if he comes up with a pickup truck and drives through the door? I have to be able to stop him. And so I'm listening to him knock on the door, and then that knocking sound stops. And about 3 minutes later, it is replaced with the sound of him on the deck over my head on the second floor. That's right outside my bedroom. And so he went up the metal stairs on the side of the property to the roof, through a room that holds the water heater, slid down a clay tiled roof, where if you fall that way, you die. But if you go over a small wall, voila, you're on the deck. You can't get to me in my bedroom because this was a double metal door that I custom made and put in there. But there is a small room that has gymnasium gear in it. And it has a large pane of glass. Is that really hard glass? Where if you hit it, it explodes into tiny little pieces. This guy could kick that and the whole window will detonate. He could run through that room, down the stairs, and be confronting me in front of my front door in less than 10 seconds. I am not prepared to deal with a 175-pound man half my age who's broken through a window and is with me in my living room. So this is potentially about to jump off and get incredibly real. I can't help it. I think this is kind of funny. I'm like, oh well, this is going to be insane, man. And so luckily for me, the sound of the man jumping up and down on the deck goes away, and it's replaced 3 minutes later. He's back at the front door. I run to the garage, I open the gate, I go upstairs to keep my eye on him, and he disappears. I'm like, okay, he's hiding somewhere. And the cops arrive about 30-some minutes later. 2 cop cars, 4 cops. They come roaring up the driveway, they get out of their car, they pull their guns out, and they're running all over the property. And I'm standing on the deck the guy was on, looking down at them as they look up at me. So there's 4 cops, 2 cop cars, my car, and they're looking up at me, and I have my hands over my head, thinking about all the low-hanging fruit comedic opportunities that this moment affords. Like, hello, Centurions! I mean, I could have gone so many ways. Well, I got my hand over my head, like, I am the homeowner. The other guy is younger. Sir, we know you can put your arms down. If you don't mind, I'll just keep them way up here. So I guess you didn't catch him? No, sir, it looks like he got away. I said, well, I'm sorry to drag you out here without you getting the guy. And one cop very charitably said, hey, you're doing the right thing. You see this guy on your property, you call 911. Here's what you don't do. You don't leave your house. You do not engage with him. You do not talk with him. You do not engage him physically. Do you understand? You call us, we will eventually get him. Now, say it all back to me. Stay in the house, and if I see him, I call 911. Do not engage him in any way whatsoever. That's right. You have a good day, sir. And they drive away. I go to the garage. I close the gate. And I figure, what will I do with the rest of my day? It became obvious. I'm going to prepare myself and the house for invasion. And so I need a command center, which will be the couch in the living room. And so I have a command center because there's a table on the front. I need gear. And so the gear will be a bottle of water because I'm going to go into my second night of not sleeping and my brain is screaming from dehydration and the lack of chemicals. And so I have that, an ancient Cliff Bar that basically powderized in my mouth. It purported to be peanut butter, but it just tasted like dirt when I ate it. And so I've got some protein coursing through my system, a bottle of water to remain hydrated, my tactical flashlight from Amazon.com, which I practice doing a perimeter check, which I'll be doing 3 times on the hour until daytime the next day as I wait to be invaded. I also have my laptop. Now, why would I need a laptop if I'm supposed to be sitting, listening to the night, hydrating, and doing perimeter checks with my light on the low setting? Because, and this is a horrible truth, but I must tell you, the older I get, the harder and harder it becomes to lose on eBay. When I was younger, I could play a collector boy long game. And so when I lost to one of the same 4 bastards that I have been winning and losing against, these 5 of us, we are miserable old men, and we love punk rock, and we bid against each other, and we win and lose, and we hate each other's guts. And we only wish for each other's downfall, I swear. Right now, the other 4 things, please, Henry's house burst into flames, burst into flames, burst into flames, burst into flames. And so, when I was young, I would not be able to get the French pressing of Day by Day, Your Generation by Generation X. I really wanted that record, but the bastard in Scotland got it. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm a young man, I will play the long game. I will keep going to eBay every single day for the next 100 years. And one day that record will come up again, and when it does, I will pounce, and it will be mine. but going to eBay every single day and looking for it, it pops up. I know there's 3 of the other 4 who want that record. Oh no, not this time. And so I start developing psyops and how to demoralize the 4 other bastards who want records that should be mine. And so knowing they are watching this auction about to end, I start increasing the bid by $10, like every 30 seconds. So someone is really intense. Ding, 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 ding. Because someone has bid a suppressive amount of money thinking I'll lay down suppressive fire to demoralize the other 4 bastards. No, you have no idea what's coming, son. I'm tipping it up, tipping it up, tipping it up, tipping it up, and then at 3 seconds out, I'm going to lay down the GDP of Spain on that record. And then you will have 1 second to see that you're going to lose, and then you will see the pink stripe of death over the top of your page. You have been outbid. I will drink your tears from a teacup, son. I will hear you scream all the way across the bitter Atlantic Ocean. I will laugh my ass off and shake my veiny, trembling fist at the sky. I hate your guts and I hate to lose it. Now that I'm old, I know that if I lose that bid on eBay, there's a very good chance I will never, ever, ever have that record in my midst. And so I bid like a bastard now. And now, to ruin the lives of these 4 other sons of bitches, I now bid on records I already have to deny I'm bidding on my 4th copy of that record, knowing the other 4 want it, and I love when I win that, because I see all their numbers of how many times they've been like, you lost to me. I'm so tempted to make a cell phone video and send it to them, because we all know who each other are, of me fanning myself with 4 copies of that record. Because the first 3 I bought for $2.99 when Jimmy Carter was president. This is the one from that collector guy in Hamburg who's aging out and selling everything off because he's either having a baby or getting divorced or something. This is the one you wanted. This is the one that I denied you having. And here, as I pull wide with the cell phone, where's it going? What's happening? What's that below the record? Is it a shredder? It's a shredder. Don't worry, I've got another 3. And son, if that record ever makes another appearance on eBay, I'll let that one too die without ever having achieved that. It's embarrassing. To be empathetic. And I do care what you think of me. Not on that topic, however. I don't care what you think about me. You used to be good. I enjoyed beating you. I enjoyed ruining your life for that afternoon. Anyway, sorry. Flashlight, laptop, bottle of water, waiting for the man. So, I realize I need weapons to neutralize this guy if he gets into my house. And so, a man without weapons goes to his kitchen, and he opens up the kitchen drawer, and I pull out a knife that I bought on the 2016 tour at a Walmart for $2.99. And you've seen knives like this. If you were to try and perforate and sever someone wearing a t-shirt, the blade would stop at the t-shirt, unable to penetrate the thin cloth. The blade would quickly flex and smartly snap at the handle. The person you're trying to kill would go and hand you the thin blade back and kill you with anything else at hand. I still use this knife to this day, carefully, not to break it, as I cut up a lot of spinach on a regular basis, on a regular Popeye. Anyway, and so I have a knife that won't work. So I take some acting lessons from myself as how to look threatening with a knife that I can't really use. So I use the entire living room in the command center going, ho, 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 fear me. So he'll run back to Finland, right? And I know that's not going to work. And so I have the knife, the laptop, the flashlight, and a bottle of water. So I need something else to bludgeon this man into a state of unconsciousness. I don't have a baseball bat because sports are intense. So a lot of hugging and butt slapping and scrums, and you go right ahead. Anyway, so I don't have a baseball bat. I don't have a lead pipe because my gang days are behind me. But I do have in my closet a rod that you hang coat hangers from. I remember it. I don't have the kind of clothes that need a coat hanger. I'm a wash and wear guy. Frugal, I say. Other people go cheap. Anyway, I run upstairs to the stepladder and I go to this metal ball which I've never touched before in my life, and I grab it and I push it up and it comes loose from whatever its moorings were, and I take it down to the living room to work on my wielding a thing, a technique. So I'm thinking of opening scenes of Yojimbo or Senjuro, starring Toshiro Mifune, directed by Akira Kurosawa, right? So I'm getting some intense technique going. And as I'm swinging this thing, I notice that it's very, very light. And if I was to hit this man, it would no doubt wrap around his head, outlining his nose and jaw. We go, ha ha, we're stuck in a Warner Brothers cartoon. And as I'm swinging it, getting my chops, I see that it's basically flexing as I swing it. So it's more like a metal switch, which I can use to my advantage. If the man gets in, I can spank him and show him some discipline for being a naughty Scandinavian boy. So if he's in my living room, okay, there you go, oh, mama can go all night long. Yeah, the Scandinavian bus is burning up now. Oh no, I'm just getting warmed up. Let me show you some of my technique. Just getting warmed up. I'm going all the way to the break of dawn. Yeah. Here, now do me. So obviously, I got a fake knife and a metal switch and a flashlight and a laptop and a bottle of water. Basically, come on, Finland. And so I sit there in the dark, listening for sliding glass doors, breaking glass. I'm doing the perimeter checks. I'm drinking the water. I'm reading eBay to make sure the coast is clear and some European bastard doesn't beat me. Midnight comes. I turn 60. This was my 60th birthday, sitting alone with a bottle of water. So Henry, 60 years of not getting hit by a streetcar. It's a kind of a landmark birthday. So what did you do? What did I do? I sat alone in the dark, waiting for a man from Finland to come to me. And I waited, and I drank the water and peeked on eBay, hoping he'd show up. So I spanked him. So the guy didn't show up, and the sun comes up, and I'm like still awake, like really tripping on exhaustion. And you've done all-nighters before, but on your second all-nighter, you're like, this is really weird. Then you just start doing interesting stuff like, let's have a peanut butter and toothpaste sandwich like this. Your brain is just misfiring. And so the sun comes up and the sun goes down 3 times and the guy doesn't show up. I must admit, I felt a bit put out. Like, you don't show up, what, I bore you now? Or the horrible idea that he has found someone else to stalk? Oh, he's stalking Flea now. Oh. And so, it becomes very weird. And I find myself sleeping in the weirdest places, trying to make a cup of coffee, like face planting right next to the sink. Don't leave the house. And so I started eating food I never thought I would eat before. Have you ever bought frozen food in an effort to improve your diet, and you never get around to eating it, and you don't have the same food guilt as when you buy fresh vegetables? Like, I know the avocado is there, I just don't have the willpower to cut it open and eat it. I'm just gonna watch it die in front of you. And you finally throw it out like after it's like this like shriveled up thing, and you watch this thing like, eat me, no, don't eat me. But frozen food, you can play the long game. And so I bought all this like healthy frozen food at Trader Joe's years ago. And I'm like, no, I'll just keep eating something else. And so now I'm down to eating that food because I can't leave and I have to be vigilant. And this is like, the use by date is like the 21 months ago. And there's so much ice that somehow got through the cellophane to the vegetarian spinach lasagna. If I go to the Trader Joe's website, we haven't had that food for 2 years and some months. You could put that on eBay and probably make some money. But no one wants vintage, dry, frozen food. But yet I ate it. And it won't kill you because it's frozen, right? So I crack it out of its little paper bowl and I microwave it, and it just disintegrates into this goo that used to be pasta and spinach and tomato sauce. I'm like, this is awful. And this is my life for 3 or 4 days. So I'm officially pissed off and over being incarcerated in my own house. Stalker be damned. And so I invented, on day 3 or 4, I invented an errand. I'm going to leave the house with a purpose. And I decide I'm going to take a poster to my pal Sam the framer, who's been framing my stuff for many years. I'm going to drop it off and I'll pick it up one fine day. So I call Sam on the phone. I go, Sam, hey, it's Henry. Can I fall by your place at 1 o'clock this afternoon and throw a poster at you? He's like, I'm wide open. Just hit the buzzer and I'll let you in. I'll be expecting you. And so I know that the stalker might be waiting for me in my front yard parking lot. And so I look out the window trying to see him, but I can't see him. So maybe he's hiding behind some potted plant. And so I leave the house with my wallet, my keys, and a poster tube over my head like it's a weapon. And I run while yelling. And I run to my dented blue economy car. And I get in and I go down the driveway. The gate opens, and a few traffic lights later, I'm buzzing Sam's buzzer, and he lets me in, and we roll out the poster, and we're talking about UV-coated, glare-free, plexi, and acid-free environments. And my cell phone rings. And on the other end is a woman who's been hectoring and emasculating me for the last 25 and a half years. Her name is Heidi May. And so we have been arguing nonstop since she first started working at my book company, to the point where we are in a perpetual state of disagreement. We work together, we edit my books together, she manages me, she helps me run my companies. She is an integral part of my life, and a harder working, more honest and decent person you'd be hard pressed to find. We just disagree on a lot of things, and she's so easy to agitate, because she's a kind and honest and empathetic person, and I'm angry and mostly made out of plastic. And so I was just like, hey Heidi, how about we go out and try and run over a dog today? Henry! Because she loves dogs, everyone loves dogs. Like, screw it, let's find a dog and run it over. Henry, I hate you! I find it so funny. So I can say that to her every day, and she will be as offended the 50th time as on the first time. And we walk into places arguing, like you see those comics, the two people and the exclamation points and all the things are coming from their tumbling bodies. That's Heidi and I. Shut up, no you shut up, no you shut up. And people come up to us and like trying to be all nice. How long have you two been married? And I always do the same thing. No, please, no! You'd be lucky, I'd be dead. Anyway, in my book, I face tour all over the world, only using my house in Los Angeles as a pit stop to shower, reconfigure my backpack, and go live like an angry molecule of curiosity somewhere else in the world. And COVID put an end to that. So in years past, if anything goes wrong at the house, ADT or anyone else calls Heidi, because she's the responsible one. And so Heidi calls me when I'm in with Sam. She goes, where are you right now? I go, I'm with Sam. We're looking at a poster. Henry, ADT just called. The motion detector in your living room has just gone off. What are you going to do? And the reason she asked me that is she can't call the cops from her address and tell them to go to my address. Only I can do that. And so I have a choice, call the cops or do something else. So I say to Heidi, I said, I'm gonna leave Sam's right now and go deal with the stalker. She goes like, oh no, you're going to kill him. I love when I have her over a barrel, because I think, as I said, I think most things are funny, including this conversation. Well, Heidi, you never know, I just might have it! And that's the perfect time to hang up. Yes, that's funny. So I go, Sam, I gotta go. But you just got here. I know, I'm so sorry. I've got a stalker. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, it is what it is. So look, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go meet the stalker and see what happens. Henry, no. Oh, no. Do not leave. Just call 911 from here and let the cops do it. Do not engage this guy, Henry. I'm like, wow, I've heard that before. Sam, so look, I'm gonna go, man. And I'm sorry for just coming over and then leaving, but I gotta take care of some business. So look, man, maybe later today I will call you back and rearrange an appointment. I might see you in a couple of hours, and I'll come in here with bits of drying blood and brain matter all over my front, or I might not come back at all. And that wouldn't be because I don't like you. I like you very much, Sam. But look, this guy might kill me today. So he's like, no! I'm like, yes, it's entirely possible. I'm an old man. He's a young man. That's how it is. So look, if the guy kills me, seriously, keep the poster. Henry! And I just walk out. Funny. My sense of humor is incredibly warped. Anyway, so I get in my car, and with the greatest of restraint, I drive back to my house at the speed limit, so I don't want to get pulled over by a cop and have to explain, if you let me go and follow me, we can catch a stalker together. And so, with the greatest of restraint, I drive a few traffic lights back towards my house. I'm now driving up a little road that leads to my driveway, and I see the stalker walking down the hill. He sees me, I see him, we recognize each other by now. I immediately look at his hands, and his knuckles are bleeding, which says to me, he went to that window in the room with the gym stuff, hit it, went through it, downstairs to the living room. The motion detector picked him up. He ran back through the gaping hole he created in the window, up the clay tile roof, down the stairs, and I'm engaging him now. I have been hospitalized a lot of times for concussions and broken bones and stitches because common sense has evaded me from birth to right now. I have been the victim of a lot of, well, it seemed like the right thing to do at the time, crack. And so I've been stitched up and mended many times because I did the wrong thing. You do the right thing, I do my thing. And it's always like, well, how many stitches will this take? So I see the man walking down on the left side of the street. I'm on the right side on this 2-lane road. I want to be closer to him. So I get into the opposing side of the street where I could have caused a really horrible accident. I just want to get up close on this guy. I have no plan whatsoever. And so I don't even know what I'm going to say next. So my brain did the talking for me. I lean my head out the window, and I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth, but I remember it when I heard it as it came out. I yelled at this guy, and I quote, "Hey, Finland boy, come here!" He walks over to my car. I open the passenger door. Get in. He gets in. Put your seatbelt on. He puts the seatbelt on. What have I done? This guy's sitting next to me. So I'm driving in the direction of my driveway. Got to come up with a plan. And I came up with this plan in a nanosecond. I will go to my driveway, hit the clicker, the gate will open. I'll park in my front yard parking lot, get out of the car, walk to the passenger side, keep my eye on him as I call 911. 911 will take between 30 minutes and 3 hours to arrive. The entire time, he will sit like a statue, waiting for law enforcement to bundle him up and take him out of my life forever. This will work. What could possibly go wrong? So we're driving up to my driveway, and I don't want to be rude. He's a guest in my car. So I attempt to make light conversation. "Did you break into my house?" And without hesitation, he was like, "Yes." And his candor was overwhelming. I said, "You broke into my house." And he gets slightly annoyed. Like, "You don't understand a monosyllable? What are you, hard of hearing, old man?" He was like, "Yes." Like, "How many times are you going to ask?" I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you're rich and you can afford to lose a few things. And, communism." I said, "Do you just say to me, and communism?" He went, "Yes." Like, what the hell does that mean? Well, I'm a curious person. I wanted to pull over and have a pithy conversation about the varying shades of communism. I'm no expert, but I know there's a difference between Leninist communism and Marxist communism and Fox News communism. It is called anyone who disagree with a communist. Like Commie Joe Biden is a commie from way back, or for. And so, no time for that conversation right now. I pull up to the driveway. I grab the clicker. I click it, and the gate won't open. I'm like, "Really?"